So good morning, it's Margaret Fiddes again, and as you might have guessed, I am talking about the festival. This is another in our series of vlogs looking forward to next year, to July, and I am outside the Judge's Lodging, which we'll hear about in a little more, with Richard Taylor, who is the history man, otherwise known as the history man from York u3a, and is going to be leading some of the walks around the city centre. So first of all, Richard, tell me how you got into this walking around the city centre lark with a group of strangers.
Oh, well, I joined u3a last year, and I looked through the catalogue of projects they were running, and I went on a history walk, and I thought I'd rather like to do this. And the history walk was involved with Romans, Saxons, Vikings, but I wanted to get away from that. And I started off because I'm interested in the Georgian period, and I thought I'll research and plot that. And that seemed to go quite well. And then I branched out, and I've got about, 8 walks now.
Gosh.
I launch a new one next year, but I've got 7 that I rotate at the moment. From Civil War sieges to plague, to the Georgians, to Victorian scandals, you name it.
Sounds fascinating. And well, we know that York's full of all kinds of different histories from all kinds of periods, isn't it? Right back from goodness knows when to today almost.
Well, it's drenched in history. I mean, that's the lovely thing about York, and there's so much to see architecturally. So it's theatrically great because you've got all these wonderful backdrops, and you can go right the way back, as you said, to the Romans, and right the way forward to Victorians. So it's really fascinating. There's a lot to see.
So you've chosen a backdrop for us, actually.
Yes, I have. The Judge's House.
I'll just see if I can get the actual name. It's now a hotel, or it's a bit back
It's
to
a
front.
boutique hotel,
It's a
yes.
boutique hotel. I've been up and down the street, Coney Street, which is just outside here, a dozen, or well, more than that, more times than I care to mention, and I never knew this was up this little.
Well, this is the
snippet.
wonderful thing about York, you see. You come across these hidden gems. This one in particular is very interesting because it's in this little hidden courtway. There is a Judge's Lodgings, which is very famous, that people see on a place called Lendl. It's now a very popular hotel. It's huge. But this, behind us here, the Judge's Court, a lovely Georgian building, is actually the very first Judge's Lodging. What it means is it's not just a fancy name for a hotel. This was actually the place when the High Court judges who trooped around England every quarter for the quarterly assizes, because there's an assize court here that people can see if they come on one of my walks, the Crown Court. Well, the judges used to come here in their carriages, and with their staff they would stay here, hence the term Judge's Court. So they would take over the place. But this eventually in Georgian times got too small, so they took over a larger building on Lendl. But I thought this had a lot of atmosphere for us to be here today.
It does. It's a beautiful building. It almost looks like you want to go inside, but I'm not sure whether you're allowed in for a coffee.
I don't think we're allowed in. It's a bit posh for us.
Yes, it's a bit posh. So we'll be out there on the main street in one of the ordinary cafes, but there's loads of them to choose from. Thank you, Richard. That's given us a little hint of we've got a taster, a teaser of all the lovely things that are going to be on offer next summer.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No, that's great. Thank you.
You.